Shvuos, but it talks about things as it pertains to after Shvuos and the Simcha, and having to do both with Simcha and with health. But we're going to skip around a little bit. We're going to start from Ois Tes Vav. My father-in-law, the Rebbe says, the Frierdiker Rebbe once said, Shachag HaShvuos, the Yom Tov of Shvuos, Chag Ben Achagim, Moedel L'Simcha. In addition to the fact that it's a Yom Tov like any other Yom Tov, which is a Yom Tov that's made for, just like all Yom Tovim are Yom Tovim that are meant to be joyous, Yesh Besimcha Nesefes, it has an additional level of joy. Simchas mitzvah, there's the joy of a mitzvah. What's the joy of the mitzvah? Mishum Kabbalas HaTorah Idei Yisrael, because the Jewish people received the Torah, and therefore, in addition to the fact that Shvuos is a joyous Yom Tov, because Yom Tovim in general are joyous, there's also the additional joy because it has this mitzvah that the Yidden received the Torah. Just like when a child is brought into Cheder to study Torah, we make a big Simcha. It's a big deal. It's a joyous occasion. We make a whole party and so on, a whole to-do. Came b'Shvuos, so too on the Yom Tov Shvuos, which is Yom Knisses Kol Yisrael Cheder. It's the time when all the Jewish people are entering Cheder, l'Kabbalas HaTorah, to receiving the Torah. Harehu Yom Simcha. It's a day of joy, noisab l'simchas hamoedim. In addition to the joy of Yomim Tovim, that every Yom Tov is a Yom Tov joy. Sukkot is joyous, and Pesach is joyous, but here there's a special joy of being, of having the joy of entering into Cheder with Hashem. Another deeper idea of why we are joyous and our commitment to Hashem that makes us rejoice. Especially the idea of Shvuos from the word an oath. Hashem Shvuos kosher b'matan Torah. The name Shvuos, an oath, is connected with the giving of the Torah. Now, the giving of the Torah is also about an idea of an oath. What type of oath is there with the giving of the Torah? They said that the oath is Shvuos HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael Shaloi Yachlifim B'Umacheres Hashem B'Umacheres. Just like Hashem, there's one oath that Hashem will not switch them into for another nation. But another idea is based Shvuos Mashbim Moisdi Tzadik. It's the oath that we make him swear every year that he will be a tzaddik. This is that every Yid has this oath, and he's under oath from the time of the giving of the Torah. Har Sinai Sheyishoyer Yehudi, that will remain a Yid. In any state and situation that he finds himself, he's going to remain a Yid. So then, even if a Yid Chas Shalom sins, he's still a Yid. Yaakov Belvad, who is not only called Yaakov, Elagam Yisrael, he's also called by the name Yisrael. Shemoira al Shem Hamayla, that the name Yisrael indicates on a quality description. Yaakov is something that has to do with having to do with the level of he was holding on to the heel of Esav. Yisrael has to do that you were mastering over men and gods and you overcame them. So regardless of whatever he is, so we have this oath and this connection with Hashem that we can never be separated from Hashem. This is something that came about during the giving of the Torah. Then it came about the two oaths. The bond between Hashem and the Jewish people, between the Yidden and Hashem. Biskashrus atzmis she'ena tluya k'amar b'maimed u'matzove b'sheru, when an essential bond that's not connected, like we said before, any state and situation. For this reason, the joy is so much more powerfully. The joy that is derived from the giving of the Torah is connected with every Jew. In every time and every place. The joy that we experience as the result of Matan Torah is, first of all, it's not limited by person, it's not limited by time and place, and it affects and impacts the entire year. How come? What does the joy of Shvuos have to do with the rest of the year? Simcha put it together because Simcha breaks through barriers. And one of the barriers it breaks through, so instead of it being limited just to Shvuos, the joy of Shvuos bursts forth past the time of Shvuos. Gather Azman v'Gather Amokim. It breaks through the barriers of time and breaks through the barriers of place. The B'chol Zman, the B'chol Mokim, take Kabbalah Torah, that in every time and in every place should be the receiving of the Torah, and therefore the joy that's connected with the receiving of the Torah. Tezvayin, the super, the Medrash. It's related in the Medrash of B'shosh Nos Nakadosh Baruch Hu Sator Yisrael, at the time when Hashem gave the Torah to the Jewish people, Dorish Mem Arvos. He demanded from the Jewish people guarantors. On the Yisrael v'Amru, the Jewish people responded and said, Aviseinu Arevim Ba'adeinu, our fathers will be our guarantors, or the forefathers will be guarantors. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Niviyeinu Arevim Ba'adeinu, our prophets will be our guarantors. V'loi Kiblam, Hashem did not accept it and did not want to give them the Torah based on those guarantors. Ad Amr, until the Jewish people said, Baneinu Arevim Ba'adeinu, our children are going to be guarantors for the Torah. Ar Vazun Niskabla, this offering of a guarantor was accepted by Hashem. Thanks to the children, Nitna Torah l'chol Yisrael, the Torah was given to all the Jewish people in Mikatna v'Gadlam, from their most minor till the greatest. Nemar harei noisnas Torah lashon hoiva. It says a lot in the brachas about the Torah. It says giving, the one who gives the Torah, not just that he gave us in the past, but in present tense. Because there's giving of the Torah daily. Since the giving of the Torah is daily, so just like then we offered up our children as guarantors, we therefore have to give over our children every single day to Torah study, and to educate them according to Torah. This is an ongoing process that we need to do daily. Just like the first time around, when you first bring the child into cheder, it's done in a joyous manner, like we spoke about earlier. Cain, so too gam b'chol yom, every day. When we send the children to cheder, we have to do this in joy. This was said the Sichos in the early years of the Rebbe's Nasias in the 50s. And then there was like a very big concern, what's going to be with my child if he goes to cheder? What's going to happen? How's he going to make a living? So the Rebbe said, Ein malidog l'tachlis hayelad. There's nothing what to worry about what's going to happen. Tachlis is like a Yiddish expression about what's going to be the end, what's going to happen with him with making a living. Where is he going to make a living from in the future? So the Rebbe says there's no reason to be concerned about it. One has to be joyous. Yes, ladas, one has to know. We send the child to study Torah. We connect him through the sending him to study Torah with the life of all the worlds. The one who gives life, he is the same one who gives sustenance. So since Hashem is giving us living children, He's also going to take care of their making a living. They should be able to have a parnasa, should have all his physical, material needs. I will give you your rains in their times, or not, and the earth will give forth its produce. All the brachas that parents wish for their children. And how does one attain all those brachas? It comes specifically and only through the agency and the intermediary of studying Torah. When he fulfills that if you will go in my statutes, it says the first of your arisa. Arisa means the bowl with which they have the dough. So the first of your dough, you give a truma to Hashem. Truma Hashem, it's supposed to say, not trumai. But also, there's an expression, arisa is also means the crib. In other words, at the beginning, right away when he's getting out of bed, you will give him up for Hashem. Immediately when the child gets up and asleep, Oimer Maidani, he says Maidani, etc. So then it awaits him also success, even in the physical. Therefore, the Rebbe concludes, when we send a child to study Torah, we have to do this out of great joy, out of a recognition. Sending a child to learn Torah is the only path for the good fortune. Not material good fortune, but also spiritual good fortune as well. Let's skip a little bit the further part in the Sichos, where here this is something that the Rebbe was addressing specifically to the women. Second column, Ois Chav Beis. In regards to the giving of the Torah, the preparation for the receiving of the Torah, in Namar it says, so you shall say to the house of Yaakov, and you should tell the children of the sons of Yisrael. The Chazal say, Beis Yaakov elu hanoshim, the house of Yaakov, these are the women. Moshe Rabbeinu limsar hadvarim b'rishono l'noshim. Moshe Rabbeinu first has to transmit it to the women. That's why it's called the house, because the woman is the mainstay of the home. V'rak achar kach l'gevarim, and only afterwards to the men. Mishum shekiyum ha'Torah tolui b'neshei Yisrael, because the ongoing existence of the Torah is dependent upon the Jewish women. Behen tolui achinuch, and the Jewish women is dependent the education. One second. Okay, we might skip a little bit back. We have more time. Hamotzi b'yadeim, that's found within their control. V'shnoisa v'reshoinav shal yeled, in the early years of the child, kashurach b'yoser, when he's still very young, v'nimtza kol yom b'bayis, and he finds himself the entire day in the home. And gam la'achar mekain, and even afterwards, kishmevakik bar b'cheder, when he already attends cheder, the women are still in charge of the child's chinuch. Mevalu roivs mani b'bayis imimba, he spends most of his time at home with his mother. Matzav abayis b'chlalusay, the state of the home in general. Ubemidar rabba gam isnag, and in a great measure, even the way the husband acts, who be there, Isha is in the hands of the wife, Akeres Abayis, the mainstay of the home. Nemar al Kain l'Shei Yisrael. So for this was told to the Jewish women, Toimar l'Beis Yaakov, say to the house of Yaakov. Toimar b'Loshen Raka. Chazal say that the word Toimar instead of Tagid or Tadaber indicates to use a soft approach. It's only an expression, a soft expression. It doesn't mean that you give them something less than you give the men. Not that the content is different from what's said to the men. The very same thing that's said to the men said to the women. But the manner of saying it to them, the way it's told to them, is in a soft manner. Like my father-in-law once expressed himself. One does not have to focus on the negative, in a state and situation where someone is not following the ways of Torah. But rather, what one should emphasize, the emphasis should be on the good side. We have to explain to the Jewish women that, again, this was a very big challenge about sending kids to yeshiva and so on. If they desire to have healthy children, physically, materially healthy, literally healthy, the Rebbe says, everybody wants material, physical health. And the one should be fortunate both materially and spiritually. They have to know this is dependent upon the health of the neshama. Because if the neshama is healthy, so then also the body is healthy. Even non-Jewish scientists, lahavdil, they have established that the health of the bodies depend upon the health of the soul, meaning our mental, spiritual state and attitude affects our physical body. Because if the soul is healthy, so then the nerves are healthy, and then the body is healthy. Will be Israel and by a Jew. How is this assured? It's only possible when a person is educated by and lives according to Torah. So a woman comes, a mother comes and presents the following question. What's the connection between the Torah and the health of the body? Health, that's dependent upon eating and sleeping and similar matters. What's the connection between health and eating kosher, eating kriyashmas, reciting brachas, wearing tzitzis, wearing payas, studying aleph beis, etc.? The Rebbe says, one has to know. Since the world was created by Hashem, He is the master over the world. Both on the soul and on the body. And the way Hashem established it, that's the way we're supposed to do it. On Uroim we see, whoever planned and built a factory, only the one who planned out the factory knows how to run the factory. When it comes to a matter that others might think it's a minor detail, it's not so important. The planner knows that this detail that others think it's minor, he knows that it matters for the entire factory. On Uroyim, we see the same thing by a woman. That the mainstay of the home, the woman, does not rely on the husband in anything that has to do with the running of the household, but rather she wants that everything in the household should run according to how she understands. Only she knows exactly what's necessary for the husband, for the children, for the home. If we're talking about running the details of the matter, that's where this all applies. Surely, if what's under discussion is the child, what we do with the child does not just affect the child himself. It's matter also to the child's children. Who also to him and his children's children, doidus for all generations. Surely surely no one should mix into how to run the education of the child. Only the way Hashem, who's the boss and the director of the world, established. That's the way one has to act with the child. And the matter affects the child for generations after generation. Yes, we need Hashem, that He is the master in heaven. He is also He's in the same way master over the United States, and every other country, whichever it is. So that the child should be healthy 100%. His education also has to be 100%. 100% according to Torah. The Rebbe used the English that parents will not agree for a child to have the Rebbe inserted 50-50 when it comes to health, heaven forbid. A child will be healthy. Not so healthy, the other half have parents invest their life in the fact that the children should be healthy in their body in the fullest measure, believe psharis without any compromise when it comes to their child's health. Their child's health is dependent according to what Hashem established. That their education should also be whole and complete without compromise, just like their health. They don't want to be compromised. It's not half and half for Hashem and half for people. The entire 100% for Hashem should be devoted in Torah study. So we also have to concern ourselves in the full measure. That words of Torah should be engraved in the brain of the child, in his memory, according to his age. Shema Yisrael, Moedani, Brachas, Tfilas, Chumash, Mishnayos, Mispar, a few Mishnayos, and davening and Brachas, whatever is appropriate for his age. These words of Torah that are engraved in his mind influence also the time when he's not actually studying and he's not even reviewing them. It's just in the back of his consciousness. Like the matter is explained in Torah Chassidus, the effect that having engraved in our memory words of Torah, the effect that it has, even when we're not learning. Even medical professionals have admitted the effect that memory and things being stored away in memory has upon the person, even if they're not consciously reviewing it. The Rebbe concludes, the short summary of all of this is, it says in the Torah, this is also understood according to logic, healthy logic, that acting according to the way the master of the world taught us, it's the only way to be successful in the world. When a person is interested in having success without compromise, so then also the way he acts has to be without compromise. Specifically, in everything that's connected with children. Children have to be healthy 100%. And how do you do that? Therefore, one has to educate them to the Eibishter in all 100%. So then Hashem gives the children, their parents, also the spiritual and the physical, and 100%. Like it says in the pasuk, if you'll go in my statutes, my laws, the earth will give forth its produce. I will increase you, and I will sustain you. I will sustain and my covenant with you. Let's just continue one last piece. Ka'amr, like we said before, Niskaris Matan Torah B'Rishoyne Beis Yankiv Elo Hanosh V'Acharkav Bnei Yisrael Elo Ha'anosh. By the giving of the Torah, first it's mentioned the house of Yaakov, which are the women, and afterwards the sons of Yisrael. This are the men. Hashpa LaHanoshim Tluya B'Noshim. The influence on men depend upon the women. Shekena Isha Yisraeli Siakeres Habayis, because the Jewish woman is the mainstay of the home. Eishes Ubas Yisrael, a Jewish wife and daughter. Tzricha Ladas, she has to know Shabbat Tluya Hanogas Habayis, that in her is dependent how the household runs. V'aleh Lashpia Labal, and she has to influence the husband. Lamrois Sheisha Mitzvah B'chvoid Baila, though a woman is commanded to honor her husband, Harikasha Yeshnai Chletius Hadrusha, when there's the appropriate resolve. So she has the capability in a pleasant manner, in a peaceful manner, to be able to attain everything. Moving love itself understood. The way she acts has to be appropriate. This is already the job of the parents and the husband to explain in a soft tone, like we said before, that to the women you got to speak softly, and then what they shall do, and the actions they should not do. So the way she acts should be according to Torah. Even a matter of doing something beyond the letter of the law. Albas Yisrael Shagodlo by his Chsidil Adas, and a Jewish daughter that grew up in a Chassidic home needs to know. She also has to fulfill Chassidus type of customs and beyond the letter of the law. My father-in-law, the Rebbe, wanted that they study Chassidus also with women. That's why he wrote Chassidus also in Yiddish, which women were not that fluent in Lashon Kodesh. Instead, they understood Yiddish. So therefore, also matters of Chassidus and going beyond the letter of the law is applicable to them. And then again, here we go, according to the physical, reflects the spiritual, befrat especially. Since when we ask Hashem, we want Him to give beyond what He owes us. We also have to act in that type of way to go beyond the letter of the law. Then Hashem will give from His full and broad hand with children, life, sustenance in a comfortable way. In the entire 100%. In America, all right. Like they say in America, all right. Stop over here.